Hey guys, welcome to my channel. The placement season has started for final year students, so I decided to make a video on OOPS concepts because this is the most important topic and it is asked during all the interviews. Before getting started with the video, I wanted to give one suggestion. As you know, this year process is very different. Everything is happening online and they are focusing more on technical skills. So make sure that you study all the technical concepts completely before going for the interview and just give your best. And if you are in the third year, then things will change even more in 1 year. So focus on technical skills more. Do global certifications provided by Google, IBM, Cisco, and don't forget to develop projects on this will give you an edge over others. Now without any delay, let's start. First, let's see what is OOPS. OOPS is abbreviation for Object Oriented Programming. Now try to understand this. Our main reason behind writing programs is to find solution for real world problems. And in real world, everything is an object, even humans are objects. So it is important to that so it is important that the programming should have all the properties possessed by real world entities such as inheritance, polymorphism, abstraction, encapsulation, etc. And that's the main reason why object oriented programming is given so much importance because it helps us solve real world problems using virtual world solutions. Now let's see important terminologies in object oriented programming. First, let's see what is object. Object is any real world entity. In terms of programming, you can call it as an instance of class. But what is a class? It is design or layout for the object. It has two aspects, attributes and behavior. Means for example, if you have a class car, then its attributes will be model name, color, engine number, etc. And behavior will be distance traveled or the petrol used by the car. So, this is a class. It includes attributes that is variables and behavior that is methods. Now, for using all these variables and methods in the class, you need a handle. So, object is that handle or key which enables us to access methods and variables present in the class. So, here you can see how to create object in Python. If you use Java or C++, then syntax will be little different, but the concept is same. Now here you can see I have created object S for the class student. Using this object S, you will be able to access all the methods and variables present in the class student. Now let's see what are methods. Methods are same as functions, but the main difference between methods and functions is that functions are called directly, but method needs object for calling. So basically all the functions which are present inside the class are called as methods because we cannot access the functions present in class without object. Here you can see that we have a class student and a method details. Here I have created the object S for student class and using this object S I am able to access the method details. Now let's see what is a constructor. It is same as method but it is specifically used for initializing the variables that we are going to use. And whenever we create a object for the class, this constructor is called directly so that variables will be allocated with memory and they will also be initialized with some value. In Python, constructor has a default name underscore underscore init underscore underscore. And also there is a destructor called underscore underscore del underscore underscore. This destructor is used to take back memory allocated to the object and it is called automatically as soon as the life cycle of object ends. Here you can see class student and constructor init. You must have seen the parameter self. This is not a keyword, it is just a parameter. When you call a method, it should know which object is calling it because there can be more than one objects for same class. It just points to the object. You can also use any other word instead of self, but self is generally preferred because it increases the readability of code. In other languages like Java, name of constructor is same as name of class. Here you can see the example of constructor in Java. Now let's see what are the differences between constructor and method. So the constructor is associated with attributes of the class, whereas method is associated with the behavior of the object. Constructor is called directly when you create the object, and this is not the same case with the methods. We need to call methods. In case if we do not create the constructor, it is provided by compiler, but this is not the case with methods. Constructors cannot have a return type, whereas methods can have return types. Now let's see what are the types of variables. There are two types of variables, static variables and instance variables. The variables which are declared outside all the methods present in the class are called as static variables. The scope of static variables is valid throughout the class, whereas instance variables are the variables which are declared inside the method, and the scope of instance variables is valid only within that method in which they are declared. Here you can see the example of static variables and instance variables. Now let's see what are the types of methods. So first let's see class methods. Class methods are the methods which are used for printing the class variables. So here you can see the example of class method. In order to declare the method as a class method, you need to use a special decorator at class method, and you need to pass the parameter CLS. CLS is a keyword in Python, so you cannot use any other word instead of CLS. So here we have declared def display as a class method. Now let's see what are the static methods. Static methods are the methods that will not access other features of the class but will perform some operation. For example, if you want to check whether the age entered by the user is greater than 18 or not, then you can create a static method because it has nothing to do with other parameters present in the class. In order to declare method as a static, we need to use a special keyword or a decorator at static method. Now let's see what are the instance methods. Instance methods are the methods used to access instance variables. There are two types, getters and setters. Getters are also called as accessors and setters are also called as mutators. Getters, as the name suggests, are used to access the instance variables, and setters are used to set or modify the values of instance variables. Here you can see the example of instance methods. These are the general methods, and we do not need any decorator in order to declare the method as an instance method. And also you can use any name to the instance method. Now let's see what is inheritance. Inheritance is when a child class inherits the properties from the parent class. Child class is also called as a derived class, and the parent class is also called as a base class. There are different types of inheritance. So first let's see single level. Single level inheritance is when there is only one parent class and only one child class. Then multi-level inheritance. Multi-level inheritance is when there are more than one parent and more than one child classes. For example, here A is parent of B and B is parent of C. So this is example of multi-level inheritance. Now let's see multiple inheritance. Multiple inheritance is when a child class has two or more parent classes. Now let's see hierarchical inheritance. Hierarchical inheritance is when a parent class has two or more child classes. Now here you can see different types of inheritances and how to declare them in Python. Now let's see what is abstraction. Abstraction is a process of hiding implementation from the user in order to emphasize more on the usage of the application. Abstraction enables the programmer to hide all the irrelevant data and processes of the application in order to reduce complexity and increase the efficiency of the application. For example, we use the remote in order to change the channels on the TV, but we don't know what actually happens inside the TV which makes the channel change. This is called as abstraction. Now let's see what is the abstract class. Any class having one or more abstract methods is called as abstract class. In order to create abstract class, we need to import module ABC, where ABC means abstract base class. In order to define a method as an abstract method, we use a decorator at abstract method. Now let's see what are the points to remember about abstract method and abstract classes. The abstract method cannot contain any implementation. So we define it using past statement. We cannot create object for the abstract class. So if we want to access the methods present in the abstract class, then we can do this using the child class. Now let's see encapsulation. It is a process of wrapping up variables and methods into a single entity. In programming, a class is an example that wraps all the variables and methods defined inside it. Encapsulation acts as a protective layer by ensuring that the data is not accessible outside the class and provides security by hiding the data from outside world. This can be done in two ways. One is using private members and another is using protected members. Private members are the members which can be methods or variables preceded by double underscore. These are not accessible outside the class. Here you can see example of encapsulation using private members. Then protected members. Protected members are methods or variables preceded by single underscore. They act same as private members, but protected members can be accessed inside the child class also. Now let's see polymorphism. It refers to a single entity type behaving differently in different scenarios. This entity can be operator, method, or a constructor. It has two parts. One is overloading and another one is overriding. First, let's see overloading. Overloading can be operator overloading, method overloading, or constructor overloading. Operator overloading. In this, the operator behaves differently under different scenarios. For example, plus operator when used with digits perform addition, and when the plus operator is used with strings it performs concatenation. This is example of operator overloading. Now let's see method overloading. Method overloading is when there are two or more methods having same name but different parameters. The parameters may differ in data types, or you can also change the number of parameters passed in the different methods. Here you can see the example of method overloading in Java. The method overloading is not supported in Python, so we use packing and unpacking in Python. Now let's see overriding. Overriding is when the method which is already present in parent class is overridden in child class. Here you can see that the shape is parent class and square is child class. The method which is area is already present in shape class, but we are redefining it in the child class. So this is called as method overriding. Now let's see access modifiers. There are four types: default, private, protected and public. We have already seen private and protected members. Now let's see default and public. Default members, they are accessible only in the same class or inside the child class, but they are not accessible outside the package. Public members are the members which are accessible everywhere, be it inside the same class, be it outside the class, be it another package. They are accessible everywhere. So in this video, I have covered all the concepts in object-oriented programming. I hope you like this video. Stay tuned for more such videos and don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. Also, if you want video on any specific topic, then please comment it in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching and all the best for your placements.